So far in 2023, Ducati's season certainly has been rather good. They're the reigning champions, the current Triple Crown holders, and so far they're showing that if anyone is to take that from them, they're going to need to step up and take it by force. Their champion Bagnaia is in incredible form, but he does have some pressure from within his own camp. For the first time in 15 years, Ducati hold the number one on the front of one of their motorcycles, and Pecco is certainly proving exactly why he has it. He may well be on the best bike, but Pecco's shown that level of consistency that no other Ducati rider has been able to find, and that's why he sits at the top of the standings at the summer break. But while Pecco's armour may be largely unbreakable, there is a small crack of weakness, and ironically, it comes in the form of consistency, even though we just said his consistency was his strength. If you look at Pecco's form through his MotoGP career, he's always had these periods of incredible speed and consistency, but they've occasionally been interspersed with the odd blunder and hiccup. While on his incredible run of form at the end of 2021, he made that critical error in Misano which saw the title go the way of Quartararo, and in 2022, his championship season, he had 5 non-scores. Even this year, Pecco has made unforced errors in both Argentina and America. With 12 rounds to go, there are plenty of points still up for grabs, and without a doubt, Pecco will be taking the big points on many of those occasions. But it is yet to be seen if Pecco can iron out the mistakes entirely and reach perfection. On the other side of the factory Ducati garage, 2023 has been a completely different story so far. Ducati's hopes of completing the Triple Crown and taking the team's title again took a big hit in the very first sprint of the season when Enea Bastianini was unfortunately injured after being knocked from his motorcycle. It was a big blow for Enea, who, after his brilliant season with Gresini Racing the year before, was tipped as one of the favourites for this year's title. His return from injury has been tricky, with a false start of sorts in Jerez where he contested practice but withdrew before qualifying. Eventually though, he returned a couple of rounds later at Mugello.
I'm fit, finally.
And far from 100%, he did a fine job to take a 9th in both the sprint and the GP. A week later he was on for 9th in the sprint again before Aleix mugged him on the last lap, but the next day he went 2 places better for 8th in the GP. While those weekends were solid, it was Assen where Bastianini seemed to make a step forward. While his qualifying didn't go to plan, he charged from 18th to 8th in the sprint to pick up a seriously impressive result. And while running in 8th again the next day during the GP, he unfortunately slipped off at turn 5. While the position was no better than the week before, the rides were definitely better, and they seemed to signal a clear step forward in Bastianini's road to recovery. With 5 weeks off now, the Beast should be close to being back to his usual best by the time the summer break concludes and the British GP rolls in. Away from the factory team, it's been a coming-of-age year for many of Ducati's satellite superstars. Jorge Martin sits second in the standings after a very strong recent run of form, and Marco Bezzecchi sits 1 point behind him in third. They're 2 riders that Pecco will be keeping a very close eye on, as even though Pecco appears to have just that 1 level more than them at the moment, they're really not that far behind anymore. Bezzecchi at points has shown some pretty incredible speed. His Grand Prix win in France was arguably the most impressive of the season. He started 7th, roared through the pack, and then cleared off into the distance to win by 4.2 seconds. Of course, that was a race where Pecco crashed out due to that collision with Maverick, but fast forward to Assen and Bezzecchi beat Pecco fair and square in the sprint, before Pecco then bit back in the GP to reinforce his status as the number 1. Then there's Jorge Martin. His string of 3 double podiums from France to Germany was his best run of form in MotoGP to date, and it rocketed him up the standings. His double victory in Germany was a masterclass, and for the first time in quite some time, he'd say that was the weekend where we saw Jorge Martin start to show his true potential. But while Martin is just about stepping into his stride, his weekend in the Netherlands showed just how easy it is for that momentum to hit neutral. He was incredibly fast in the sprint and the GP at Assen, but qualifying 10th let him down, giving him too much work to do. In fact, his qualifying has strangely been his weak point this year, with Martin only qualifying on the front row twice so far, something quite odd for the rider that many believe holds the fastest outright pace over 1 lap in MotoGP. He took 3 poles in a row at the end of 2022, and with qualifying more critical than ever, if he could find that kind of qualifying form again, he could pose a significantly stronger threat to Pecco for the rest of the season. Behind them, Johann Zarco and Luca Marini are also having fine seasons. Zarco has had one of the best starts to a season he's ever had, with 4 Grand Prix podiums from the first 8 races. And Luca Marini, who's qualified on the front row 4 times this year, managed to pick up his first Grand Prix podium, as well as take a podium in the sprint too. Perhaps the only Ducati riders that will be slightly frustrated with their first halves of 2023 are Alex Marquez and Fabio Di Giannantonio. Alex picked up a Grand Prix podium in Argentina in the wet and was on for a podium in Italy too before crashing out late on. He's had some bad luck as well, with a collision on lap 1 in America, and then of course he had nowhere to go in a racing incident with Marini at Le Mans. The positive is that the speed has been there every round. Now Alex just needs to put it all together and hope some good luck falls his way. As for Fabio, while the rumours circulate on whether he'll be in MotoGP next season or not, he already has 10 points more than he scored in the whole of last season, so there is progress there. He'll just be hoping he can take another step before time runs out. It's clear then that Ducati's 2023 is largely an overwhelming stream of positivity. Bagnaia still remains as the benchmark, but he'll need to stay on his current impressive form to hold off his Ducati stablemates behind that want the crown for themselves.
If you love MotoGP videos, like and subscribe.